Well, good morning. Top of the morning to you. So this is the This is the Hallicrafter SX-111. And unlike my other Hallicrafters that you may or may not have seen on my channel, this one is kind of a purpose-built machine. It's intended to be used with just the amateur band and probably the 1960s amateur band. The amateur bands have changed a little bit since 1960. Who knew? So this is a pretty basic unit. This is a mate to a pair. The other half of this would have been a transmitter, would have been the Hallicrafter, the HT 37 or 47. I can't remember, to be real honest. Anyway, they were used as a pair. But I don't know. I got this at the local, or not local. I got this over in Iowa at the little ham flea market, the first one of the year. It's pretty nice. It's got a few dings. It's got some scrapes. You know, if you're, I don't know, if you're born in 1960, you probably got a few dings on you too. So that's just the way it is. So pretty basic machine. It's got power and then standby, and then the two side bands, and then the calibrator. It's got a little crystal calibrator that sits over in the back here. Actually, oh well, I had a piece of it. Anyway, it uses a little crystal in a glass tube. It looks like a tube. Before the age of precision digital tuning, you had to have a calibrator to kind of keep you on track of volume. This is a little unusual too, because this has a switch here, and I think what's happened is somebody has replaced this volume control. It's also missing. There's a little beauty ring there. It's gone, which leads me to believe it's been worked on. This has a notch filter in it for the IF. This is a dual conversion machine, so kind of a little bit step up from the more basic Hallicrafters. Has a selectivity, which is audio bandwidth selectivity. It's 5 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz, 2 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz, and half a kilohertz. BFO, automatic volume control, and then a automatic noise limiter in headphones. Meter. There's a dial, kind of a set, which isn't mechanical, it's electrical. It actually pushes the VFO, or the first local oscillator, around a little bit. And then there's an antenna matching capacitor. Band switching, which is just, like I said, 1960s amateur band, which was 80, 40, 20, 15, 10 meters. And there's also an extra band that allows the machine to tune 10 megahertz for WWV, and it actually goes each way a little bit. And then last but not least is RF gain and tuning. The back is pretty basic. It's just a pair of antenna connections. There's a binding post with a mute function on there, because it worked with the transmitter. It would cut off, I believe, the IF and the RF sections when the transmitter was keyed. And there's also a speaker, a binding post for a speaker, either basically about 8 ohms. I think it actually says 3.5 or 500 ohms, which is kind of a line level impedance. Okay, well, I got this, and the owner claimed it worked. He said it may need a little bit of alignment, but he claimed it worked. And it's in pretty good shape. So I thought we'd just kind of tempt fate and cold turkey this and fire it right up. So, I don't know, we'll go up on where WWV is. And it's a little bitty pip right there. It's just about the width of, I don't know, it looks like about a 1/4 inch width. So, I don't know, we'll just tune things up. And, oh, well, the meter's moving. There's a buzz in the audio. Well, looks like it works pretty good. This machine is really geared and intended more for sideband. There's a kind of a sideband filter here that adjusts. And we need the BFO. And we'll go down on. Oh. Looks like I need a little. Whoopsie doodle. Yeah. Looks like a little work is in order. There's another. The RF gain control works. Okay, well let's go down wherever the amateurs are at. It's about, I don't know, it's early in the morning yet, so I don't know, we'll try down on 40 meters.
And Billy and I don't know, a bunch of them, and they all were banging in. No noise on the band. We can talk to, let's see, Conrad was 20 over from east of Wichita. Olathe was here, but yet across the country. But QRZ said bad. We had a very brief severe storm. I've never seen it.
A couple interesting points. The RF gain control and the automatic volume control are two separate circuits. Sometimes they're kind of linked together. But on the Hallicrafter, a little bit different. This Hallicrafter uses all smaller 7 and 9 pin tubes. Unlike some of the older machines you've seen on my channel, they use the bigger tubes. A lot of those older machines use these big 8-pin base tubes, and the 111 is getting a little more modern. Things are starting to get shrunk up. It's kind of an interesting machine. Pardon me. I'm not sure how this comes out of the case. I looked underneath. It looked like there were just a couple screws, and then maybe the thing slides out. It looks like there's a couple of drag marks here. So it's been out of the case at least once. You know, something that old has probably been on the repair bench at least one time, or at least on the repair bench for a modification. So we'll have to pop the bottom off or pop it out of its case and take a look at it. It's pretty nice looking. I really like the look of it. It's a little big, and it weighs a ton. And, oh, that's weird. That's kind of weird. I never noticed that. Is there a bend there? Huh. That's weird. There's a little thing right there. Kind of a ripple. Probably what's happened is somebody probably dropped this on the corner and bent that in a little bit, because this side doesn't have it, none of the other sides have it. And you wouldn't want something like that on there. It would impede the removal of the unit. Looks like I might have to get out the ruler and see what's going on. It feels like it's more down here. And there's actually a little bend right there, maybe. Oh well.
You can carry on. I'll just read the mail here, and as long as I've got to catch up on computer things and stuff, I'll just read the mail. So you take care, and guys, thank you for letting us in. K7RMTW0EXR is 73 to Bob.
Very good, right? XR, K4RMT. And I think Fred was up there in the mobile, K9YDD.
Unlike some of my other Hallicrafters, this doesn't have a band spreader because it's really purpose built. It's actually somewhat narrow. The tuning's still a teeny bit quick, but nothing so horrible. Well, I think I'll just let the thing warm up here and kind of sit and babysit it a little bit and enjoy it. And later we'll take the bottom off and kind of peek around in there and see what sort of trouble we can get into there. Let's I just love when you find something you didn't expect and then it starts to kind of bug you. Oh well, that's okay. We might be able to lay that on a big flat of steel or a granite block or something and tap that back maybe with a rawhide mallet. Nothing to write home about. And like I said, you know, after a few years you get a few battle scars on you. The case on this has got a few dings on it, but you know, it's just a basic wraparound case. It's actually something you could probably sand or scuff up very carefully and match the paint. It's just a basic gray. It's not a deep gray, but or kind of a more charcoaly gray, but just a kind of a battleship gray, so it might be something that could be restored without a big fight. It's one thing I did see on the bottom. I don't know if I can show you this or not. Yeah. It's got a lot of the Hallicrafters have come from the factory. They have this little paper plate. And what that does is covers all the holes for the alignment coils. Well, they don't want you fiddling with that stuff, so they put this on there and tell you just leave it the hell alone. A lot of them, almost all of them, are gone. But this one's still intact. It's got a little rub mark there, which I need to kind of touch up. I'll just get some white glue and kind of tack it back. The cardboard, it's sort of a heavy cardboard. I'll just kind of squeeze it back together. Well, I'm pretty happy with this. So anyway, it's kind of nice to get something that runs. I'm sure there'll be something in the inside that'll need to be fixed. Anyway, have a groovy day. Thanks for stopping by.